Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something that's running in the background of most of our homes, keeping us comfortable. Your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, HVAC. Our mission today is really just to break it down for you, maybe if you're a complete beginner, make sense of how your home stays, well, comfortable. And we've got an expert here to guide us.
That's right. Happy to be here. So HVAC, it stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Simple enough, right?
Right.
Sometimes you'll see an R on the end, HVACR, that just adds refrigeration. But the main goal is always the same, controlling the climate inside your home. It's about making sure the temperature feels good, obviously, but also, managing humidity, bringing in fresh air, filtering out dust and stuff. It's key in, well, pretty much all our homes and apartments.
Okay, so it sounds like a lot, but I get the feeling understanding the basics isn't as daunting as it seems.
Not at all.
Yeah.
By the end of this, you'll have a really good handle on how the main parts work together.
Great. So let's start there then. What are the sort of main players in a typical home HVAC system? You mentioned they work like a team.
Exactly like a team. Okay, first up, you've got the thermostat. Think of this as the brain.
Okay, the control center.
Precisely. It's constantly reading the room temperature where it's installed, and it tells the heating or cooling when to turn on or off to keep things steady.
Makes sense. What's next?
Next is the furnace or air handler. This is like the heart of the system.
The heart. Okay.
Yeah, it's the big indoor unit. Its job is either to heat the air or sometimes just circulate it. It pulls air back from your rooms. You might mix in a little outside air, conditions it, heats it, or cools it, and then blows it back out. Inside this unit, that's where you'll find things like the air filter and the main blower fan.
Got it. So brain, heart. What else?
Then there's the air conditioner or maybe a heat pump. This is usually that unit you see outside your house.
Ah, the big box with the fan.
That's the one. It works hand in hand with the indoor unit, the air handler. Inside that box, you've got important parts like the condenser coil, the compressor, another fan too.
Okay. Indoor unit, outdoor unit. How does the air get around?
Good question. That's the ductwork. This is the circulatory system, you could say.
Ah, like arteries and veins for air.
Sort of, yeah. It's a network of ducts. Supply ducts carry the conditioned air to your rooms, and return ducts bring the air back to the furnace or air handler to start the cycle again. Now, just a quick aside, some newer homes might have what are called ductless mini-split systems.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those wall units.
Exactly. They don't need all that ductwork running through the walls and ceilings. Can be pretty efficient. Because
Okay.
you avoid leaks you might get in ducts, and they condition rooms individually.
Interesting. Okay, so we have the main parts, thermostat, furnace air handler, a cheap pump, and the ductwork. Let's dive into heating first. How does the furnace actually make things warm?
Right, the furnace. Well, it's actually pretty straightforward. If you have a gas furnace, it burns natural gas or propane in a special chamber, a bit like your stove.
Okay.
If you have an electric furnace, it uses big heating elements, kind of like in a toaster or electric oven, just much more powerful. Either way, it generates heat, and that heat warms up the air passing through it. Then that blower fan we talked about inside the air handler, it gives a big push.
And sends the warm air through the ducts.
You got it. Pushes that nice warm air through the supply ducts and out into all the rooms of your house.
So you used the analogy of an oven earlier.
Yeah, think of the furnace as like a big, powerful oven just for heating the air in your house.
Yeah.
And the blower fan is like a super strong fan blowing that warm air through the ducts, which are like tunnels delivering warmth everywhere.
That makes sense. Okay, heating covered. Now cooling. This is the part I find a bit, well, magic. You mentioned it doesn't create cold, it removes heat.
Exactly. That's the key thing to understand. It feels like magic, but it's really just physics. Your AC is a heat mover. It takes heat from inside your house and dumps it outside.
Okay, move the heat out. How?
Well, let me try another analogy. Think of it like using a sponge to move water. But here we're moving heat.
Okay, a heat sponge.
Right. Inside your system, there's a special fluid called refrigerant. That's our heat sponge. Now, inside your house, in the air handler, there's a part called the evaporator coil. This is like a thirsty sponge ready to soak up heat.
God.
As your warm indoor air blows over this coil, the liquid refrigerant inside evaporates, turns into a gas. And just like water evaporating cools your skin, this process absorbs heat from your air. That's what makes the air blowing out feel cool.
Ah, so the evaporation is the cooling part.
Precisely. Now, that refrigerant, which is now a gas carrying all that heat, gets pumped by the compressor. Think of the compressor as squeezing the sponge.
Squeezing the heat out?
Well, it squeezes the gas, making it really hot and high pressure. Then it sends it to the outdoor unit, to the condenser coil.
The outside sponge?
Kind of. This is where the sponge gets wrung out. The fan in the outdoor unit blows air over the condenser coil. That hot, high-pressure refrigerant gas cools down, releases all the heat it absorbed inside, and condenses back into a liquid.
So it dumps the heat outside.
Exactly. Then there's a little device called an expansion valve that controls the flow of that cooled liquid refrigerant back to the indoor evaporator coil, and the whole cycle starts again. Absorb heat inside, pump it outside, release it, repeat.
Wow, okay, the sponge analogy really helps. It's just a continuous loop of moving heat.
You got it. That's air conditioning in a nutshell.
Okay, so heating, cooling, but you mentioned V for ventilation earlier. That seems important, but maybe overlooked. Air quality, Rich.
Hugely important, and yes, often overlooked. The ductwork isn't just about delivering hot or cold air, it's also about moving air around generally, circulating it, mixing it. That helps keep the temperature even and brings fresh air through.
And those vents I see in rooms.
Right, you typically have supply vents, or diffusers, where the conditioned air blows out into the room. They're designed to mix the air nicely. And then you have return vents, or grills, which suck the room air back into the system through the return ducts.
Okay, supply and return. Got it.
But tying this all together, especially for air quality and keeping the whole system running well, is the air filter.
Ah, yes. The filter. I know I'm supposed to change that.
You absolutely are. It's probably the single most important piece of maintenance a homeowner can do. It's honestly critical. It does two main jobs. First, it cleans the air, traps dust, pollen, pet dander, other particles, keeps that stuff out of the air you breathe. Second, and just as vital, it protects your expensive HVAC equipment.
Protects it from what? Dirt.
Exactly. All that dust and debris, if it gets past the filter, builds up on the coils, the fan blades, it makes everything work harder, less efficiently. Think about it. If that filter gets clogged solid with dirt, air can barely pass through.
Right, like trying to breathe through a pillow.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
So the system strains. Your energy bills go up because it's working overtime. The components wear out faster. In cooling mode, a really clogged filter can cause the indoor evaporator coil to actually freeze up into a block of ice.
Freeze. Wow.
Yep, blocks airflow completely. And in heating mode, restricted airflow can cause the furnace to overheat, which is potentially dangerous. Can even cause fires in extreme cases.
Okay, message received. Change the filter regularly. It sounds like the cheapest insurance policy you can get for your HVAC.
It really, really is. Simple, cheap, and makes a massive difference to efficiency, equipment life, and your air quality.
Right. Now let's talk about the part we actually interact with the thermostat. You called it the brain. Tell us a bit more about how it works, especially maybe the newer smart ones.
Sure. So the basic job of any thermostat is pretty simple. It senses the temperature in the room it's in. It compares that temperature to the setting you've chosen. If it's too cold in heating mode or too hot in cooling mode, it sends a signal to the furnace or AC to turn on. Once it reaches your set temperature, it tells the system to turn off. Keeps things, stable.
Pretty straightforward. What if it seems like it's not working right?
Good question. Sometimes it's simple stuff. First thing, check the circuit breaker for your HVAC system. Maybe it tripped.
Okay.
If the thermostat has batteries, try replacing them. Dead batteries are a common culprit. Sometimes you might even check if the wires seem loose where they connect to the base. Though be careful doing that if none of that works.
Call a pro.
Yeah, that's usually the next step if the simple fixes don't do it.
And these smart thermostats, what's the big deal there?
They're a big step up. They can learn your schedule, your temperature preferences. You can control them remotely from your phone. They can automatically adjust the temperature when you're away or asleep to save energy. Some even give you reports on your energy usage. They really optimize things for both comfort and cost savings.
So it's like upgrading from a basic light switch to a whole smart home lighting system.
Kinda, yeah. More control, more efficiency, often more data. It's about managing your comfort and your energy bill more intelligently.
Okay, this has been incredibly helpful in understanding the pieces. Now, let's bring it home with some practical advice. What are the absolute must-do maintenance tasks for a homeowner? And when should we definitely leave it to the professionals? It's
Yeah.
about safety and efficiency, right?
Absolutely. Safety and efficiency are key. So DIY tasks. Number one, without a doubt, is that air filter. Check it monthly, change it when it's dirty. Seriously, just do it.
Okay, filter, filter, filter. Got it. Anything else?
Yeah, take a look at your ductwork if you can access any of it, maybe in the basement or attic. Look for obvious holes, gaps, or disconnected sections. Air leaking out there is just wasted money and energy. You can often seal smaller leaks yourself with special mastic sealant or metal tape. not regular duct tape, though.
Good tip. So filter and check for duct leaks. What are the signs that scream, call a professional?
Okay, so besides the thermostat issues we mentioned, if basic troubleshooting doesn't work, definitely call if you see water pooling around your indoor unit that could be a clogged drain line or a full drain pan.
Okay, water's bad.
Generally, yes, where it shouldn't be. If you notice ice forming on the coils inside that frozen evaporator coil we talked about, call someone. Don't just let it thaw and restart. There's an underlying reason.
Right, find the cause.
Excessive moisture inside the ducts could mean trouble. And if your system just isn't heating or cooling like it used to, or it seems to run constantly without reaching the set temperature. Oh, and if you suspect your system might be the wrong size for your house, maybe it struggles on really hot or cold days, or cycles on and off constantly, that's worth a professional opinion. Sizing is really important.
That makes sense. An undersized system won't keep up, and an oversized one wastes energy.
Exactly. It short cycles, which is inefficient and causes more wear and tear. And of course, if you have ongoing concerns about your indoor air quality, beyond just dust, a pro can evaluate things and suggest solutions, maybe better filtration or ventilation upgrades. Really, regular professional maintenance, like an annual checkup, is the best way to keep everything running efficiently and catch small problems before they become big, expensive ones. It's like that cartoon up analogy again. Keeps it running smoothly, saves energy, extends its life.
Fantastic. So the big takeaway seems to be understanding even just the basics of your HVAC empowers you. It's not just a magic box anymore. You can do simple things to keep it healthy and know when to ask for help.
That's perfectly put. And now that you have this clearer picture, you're not just, reacting when something breaks. You're actively managing your home's comfort, its energy use, and honestly, its long-term value.
Value? How
Well,
so?
think about it. Knowing how things work helps you make smarter choices. Maybe you're thinking about upgrading. Understanding efficiency means you can look for energy-efficient models. And did you know? Often, investing in those high-efficiency HVAC systems can come with financial perks, like tax credits or local utility rebates.
Oh, interesting. So being informed can actually save you money up front, too.
Potentially, yes. It varies depending on where you live and what programs are available, but researching eligible, efficient models is definitely a smart move. It saves on bills long-term, and those incentives can help with the initial cost. Plus, a newer, efficient system can be a selling point if you ever decide to move.
That's a great final thought. So this knowledge isn't just about fixing problems, it's about making informed choices for a healthier, more comfortable, more efficient, and ultimately maybe even a more valuable home.
Exactly. Puts you in the driver's seat.